Hi guys, thank you so much for staying tuned to my channel. This is actually an educational channel, meaning that you're going to get lots of tips that will help you either in your business or as a salesperson who wants to earn more commission in any business that you're currently working for, or who wants to take his career to the next level. So if you're here to subscribe to this channel, kindly go ahead to hit the subscribe button so that you can get lots of useful sales tips that will help you to continue to move your business forward and also help you in advancing your career. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing some lessons that I learned on how to turn objections into opportunities. So I myself am a salesperson, and what I sell are medical equipment and diagnostic equipment. And I've been doing this for quite a while now. Over the course of the years that I've done this, I've actually learned a lot from different customers on how to handle objections. Because you meet different people who have different views and different perspectives to your services. And so you must be ready to handle whatever objections that they have. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing some lessons with you on how to actually turn some objections into opportunities. And these are personal lessons that I've learned in my own day-to-day dealings with selling to customers. The first objection I'm going to be sharing with you is on price. So I remember one of the customers that actually gave me a very tough time. As a matter of fact, this was a sale that took me well over a year. I'm talking about over 2 years to actually get a customer to buy from us. And what had happened was that we had gone into that facility, spoken to the customer about the equipment that we were selling. So this was a facility that had an hospital and a diagnostic lab attached to it. And what we wanted to sell to them was a diagnostic equipment that they were going to be using to run a test called full blood count. And what I had done for them was to actually go, first of all, to speak to the owner of the hospital, telling them about what we do and how our services and our equipment could actually help them to improve efficiency. And in turn, they could also improve their return on investment. Because what that means is that they are going to be able to do a lot more tests and they are going to be able to do it in a less time, meaning that they are able to refer more customers to be able to run that test within the facility, which can help them to generate more money. And what I had done was to do a cost per test analysis. I had done a table for them on what they were going to make if they invested in this equipment as a facility. And they were quite impressed. Even as at that time, we were actually running a promo. But the owner of the business kept saying to me that this equipment is too expensive, that they didn't think that they were going to be able to afford it. But I kept saying to them that apart from the expenses that you were going to incur, this is something that has the potential to generate a lot of money for you. But he kept saying that no, that this was too expensive. As a matter of time, one of the times, they even went to go and investigate another competitor, and they came to me saying that, oh, the competitor was actually cheaper. But within myself, I knew that the competitor product they had gone for was even more expensive. And at that time, there was really nothing I could do about the price, because the price had even gone higher and I'd even tried to give them some level of discount. And for a while, I kept going there, and what I kept doing was to continue to reframe the value that they were going to get from investing in that equipment. I told them about our after-sales support service, and I told them about the money they were going to make from investing in that equipment. So those were the things that I kept focusing on. And this conversation lasted for over a year. And all of a sudden, during the end of the year, around the December period, I just got a call from them saying that, oh, are you guys still selling those equipment? And I said, yes, we're still selling. This is somebody that I've been speaking to for a long time. So I just told them that, yes, we're still selling. And they were like, okay, how soon can we get it delivered to them if they decide to buy? And then can they still get more discount from us? And I said, okay, that's fine. I'll try and speak to my boss and see if we can give you more discount. And this is something that can be delivered to you even before the year closes. And I was able to get more discount for them from my boss. And that was how we were able to sell that equipment. So the lesson that I learned from there was that when the customer started talking about price, what I decided to do was to continue to focus on the value that they were going to get from investing in that equipment. Because I realized that the value they were going to get was higher than what they were actually talking about. And that was what I focused on. So whenever you have a price objection, one of the things you need to do is to continue to focus on value. And you will see that as you do so over the course of the time, and most times, the customers will end up coming back to you to buy that product from you. The second lesson that I'm going to talk about is a lesson that I learned from a customer who had an objection about trust. So this customer did not actually trust us as a company because they felt that if they paid for that product, how are they going to be sure that we're going to deliver it to them? Because at that time, one of the rules that our boss had given us is that before we actually sold any product, the customers must have paid. And so this customer was quite furious and they were like, how do we trust you? How do we know that if we pay into your account, you guys are not going to run away with our monies and we're not going to see our product? And let them know that yes, I quite understand what we're saying. And I also feel what we're trying to say. Meaning that what they are saying was not unrealistic. It's not something that is out of the blues. It's something that is expected because you don't really know me. You don't really know our company. You're just dealing with us for the first time. So you wanted to have a guarantee that if you paid into our account, we're going to be able to deliver that product to you. And so what I did about this one was to go have a conversation with my boss. And I said to him that I was going to put my reputation on the line. That is it possible for us to actually carry the equipment to the customer's place and let them see it physically for themselves. But what will happen is that before we actually took it into the facility, they were going to ensure that they actually paid us the money before we took it into the facility. And so my boss agreed. And what we did was to arrange with one of the bus drivers and we took the equipment down to the facility. But what happened was that the equipment was still inside our bus. So when the customer came out and saw the equipment that they wanted to pay for, they were a bit more relaxed and they went ahead to make the payment. And so that was how I was able to overcome that objection of trust. So when it has to do with trust, you must look for a superior reason or you must try and get some evidences that they can actually fall back to so that they know that you're actually saying the truth. Another evidence you can give to them is that you can get them to speak to another customer that you've actually done business with before, that they know and they can actually get a guarantee from that what you're trying to say to them or what you're trying to sell to them is legit and you're not trying to swindle them of their money. So this was how I was able to overcome that other objection. The last objection I'm going to be talking about was a customer who said that they were not sure that this equipment was going to give them a return on investment. And I quite understand what they were trying to say. What I did at that time was to do a cost breakdown for them. So I'd done a cost breakdown of how much if they invested into this equipment and how much if they invested into buying some of the consumables that was going to be used for this equipment, and how much if they were going to be charging for that particular parameter from the patient. So I did that cost per test analysis and I gave them that breakdown. And what I had helped them to do was to see and have a mental picture of how the whole investment was going to go. And this was the reality, this was the truth. So with that picture in mind, the customer was able to visualize that if they put X amount of money into this investment, this was how much we were going to make over the course of this time. And that was how I was able to help overcome that objection of return on investment. When a customer says that kind of a thing, one of the things you need to do is to rephrase and let them know that yes, you actually understand what they're trying to say. But however, let me take you through this route and share this breakdown with you so that you are able to fully understand. If possible, you can schedule a meeting and go to the customer's place and have a one-on-one conversation with them to actually discuss this. And you will see that with some of the things that I've shared today in today's video, if you actually deploy them, you will see that you'll be able to turn a lot more objections into opportunities, because objections can actually hinder you from closing a lot of sales. And the truth is that in sales, you cannot do without having objections, because customers will always come to you to actually push back. The fact that you've gone to meet them to sell your product does not mean they will agree to it at that initial time. So objection is a normal thing in sales and you must be ready to overcome it. So I believe with some of the lessons that I've shared with you about how I went about overcoming some objections, if you put them into use yourself, you will see how much it will actually help you to be able to get a lot more sales into use. And if you have any questions about handling objections, kindly drop it in the comment section below and we can pick it up and actually share more on how you can go about handling them as well. And if you also had experience on handling objections and you'd like to share with us as well, kindly drop it in the comment section as well. You can always book us for a one-on-one training session or for a group training session. Reach out to us. We'll be there to actually help you make a difference in your business. So thank you today for staying tuned to today's video. See you next time.